Hi, this is Ken Zaitz. As you can see behind me, it's snowing again, which soon we must face the inescapable fact that the snow is going to need to be removed from the walks and the driveways. Now, you want to do that to keep from icing up, obviously, and having a dangerous situation for your friends, family, or other people that are using the walks. The best de-icer is that backbreaker, the snow shovel. And for those of you that are looking for an easier way to get the snow and ice off, let's talk about chemical de-icers. According to the Colorado Ready Mix Concrete Association, that's a Colorado-based organization that promotes the use of concrete and the proper uses of it. You should not allow snow and ice to accumulate on concrete, especially during the first winter. So if you have a new driveway, new concrete, you really want to keep that snow off that first winter. And you should never use chemical de-icers during that first winter. The other thing they recommend is if you've been out driving on the streets and the CDOT has used the mag chloride, different things to de-ice the streets, you shouldn't let your vehicle drip off on your concrete in your garage and driveway, as that is known to also damage the concrete. However, with the safety of your family and friends foremost in your mind, let's talk about the proper way to de-ice and clear that snow off those sidewalks. The first thing you need to do, even if you're using a chemical de-icer, is to shovel it first. You need to get everything down. Secondly, you need to use the minimum amount of de-icer possible. And what you want to do is you want to let it sort of melt down into the ice, loosen it up, and then you need to shovel or remove that ice with a shovel or a plow and get the de-icer off of the concrete. You don't want to leave it stand on there and let it melt down through until it melts onto the ice. All that does is going to cause you problems and expense later on down the road. Finally, once it warms up enough, you probably should wash that concrete off once that weather makes it feasible. Now here I'm going to show you a couple examples of concrete where the finish is good and it's about 30-year-old concrete is fine. I'm going to show you another example where it's spalted or where it's broken off, and this is what can happen using chemical de-icers. Concrete that hasn't experienced spalting or chemicals is smooth, surface is uniform, even when it's wet, and there's less penetration of water and less way to have the concrete start breaking up. This is concrete that's experienced spalting. The top layer of the concrete has been chipped off, frozen, or cracked off, exposing the concrete to more potential damage and wear. This is what you want to avoid, and this is what de-icers can cause if not used properly. Okay, with that said, you may still want to try and use a chemical de-icer. Let's talk about the products you have available for your use. The first would be sodium chloride, or more commonly known as rock salt. It's the least expensive, but the problem with it is it's only good to about 15 degrees in temperature. The second thing is, if you use it frequently, it can accumulate in the soils. It's been known to damage plants, and it's also not safe for your animals. Calcium chloride costs more but works to a lot lower temperature. It works down to almost minus 20 degrees. It's less damaging to some plants, but it still may damage your concrete. Another choice would be potassium chloride. It works similar to rock salt. It's one of the least toxic options, but the problem with it doesn't work very well in cold temperatures. It's much better suited to what you call a warmer winter. And then finally there's magnesium chloride. It's similar to calcium chloride, but it works down roughly, say, 5 degrees. The problem is it tends to slow down, and the colder the temperature gets, works slower as those temperatures drop. It also appears to be much more damaging to metals and other items like that. Another choice would be urea or chemical fertilizers. Now, it may seem like a good idea for your plants and your soils, but they've been shown to be the most corrosive to concrete of all the de-icers, so I'd really stay away from those. So let's say you decided not to use a chemical de-icer. You shoveled, you chipped away, but you've still got a slick spot and you're concerned about someone possibly falling. Once again, say safety first. Try kitty litter or sand. It'll improve the traction tremendously, but it won't melt the ice. Lastly, according to the CRCMA, never use de-icers containing ammonium nitrate, ammonium sulfate, or potassium acetate. These chemicals are known to attack concrete. Anyway, I hope this has been helpful, and happy shoveling. Remember, we need the moisture.